people, it's me, Anya. My pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to my channel for another original book tag. Before we get into these questions, please remember to donate to Palestine and stay educated and stay informed. So, like all my other original author book tags, this book tag questions correlate with Akemi Bowman's books. So let's just get started. The first question is Starfish. Name your favorite hard-hitting YA contemporary. One of my favorite hard-hitting YA contemporaries is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. I love this book so much. It's written in free verse. We love to see it. I have a soft spot for books written in free verse, and I have a recommended reads video coming about books written in free verse, so stay tuned for that. Maybe it's coming out in 2 days. Who knows? I haven't filmed it yet, so I really have no idea. Basically, if you didn't know, The Poet X is a YA contemporary following a young black girl who discovers slam poetry as a relationship, as a way to communicate herself with her relationship with her mom and her relationship with religion. It's a way to understand all of that together. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but basically this book is really good, and I highly recommend it. So yeah, we love to see it. The second question is Summerbird Blue. Name your favorite book with arrow ace representation. So I feel like everybody is going to say Loveless for this question, which is a very good book, but I wanted to highlight another book with arrow ace representation that isn't Loveless and also isn't Summerbird Blue, because I feel like those books are the most popular. So the book that I have in mind is Tarnished All the Stars, written by Rosiee, I believe is her name, and she has a new book coming out next year that I'm so excited for, because Tarnished All the Stars was so good. This book is a YA science fiction book following 3 characters, 2 of which are sapphic, and then the other one is arrow ace, and they team up together because they happen to have a common ground. I don't exactly remember what the common ground is, but you can find out when you can read this book because it's so good, and I highly recommend it. So yeah. Anyway, the next question is Harley In The Sky. Name your favorite underrated Asian book. I made an entire video about this, and I included Harley In The Sky because I think this book is Akemi Bowman's most underrated book. It's also one of her newer books, it came out in 2020, so maybe that's why it's so underrated. But anyway, it's such a good book, and my favorite book that is an underrated Asian book for this question is indeed The Other Side of Perfect. I talk about this book all the time. I think, there are books that I feel like I talk about all the time, and then there are books that you feel like I talk about all the time. So I feel like this book is more of the former and less of the latter, but it should become the latter as well because this book is so good. It's one of my favorites from this year. I rated it 5 stars because I absolutely loved it. It's a YA contemporary following a young girl who's injured, so she's taking a break from dance, and she's really discovering her relationship with dance and how you can love and hate parts of it, which includes talking about the racism within the dance industry, which I think is so important and it's so timely, and it's just so cool. This author is literally so talented, and I think this book is her debut, which is so impressive because this book is so good. It's so incredible and it's so excellent, and it deserves so much more hype. So with that, I would highly recommend it. The next question is The Infinity Courts. Name your favorite Asian science fiction book. So I don't have many Asian science fiction books that I absolutely really enjoyed because A, science fiction isn't a genre that I read all too often, and second of all, whenever I do read science fiction, the characters are most likely white. So honestly, it's very difficult for me to find a science fiction book where the main characters are people of color, which is so sad. But anyway, the book I have in mind is Goddess in the Machine. This book is so good. It's a YA science fiction book that came out last year, and the main character is East Asian coded, I believe, or maybe it says that she's East Asian. I don't remember completely, but this book is so good. The plot of this book is a bit complicated to explain, so I don't actually remember all the details, but basically this book is so good. It had a great world, it had a great plot, had great well-developed characters, and I'm so excited to read the sequel. I think when you're watching this, the sequel is already out. I think it comes out in August, and this video goes up in September, even though I'm filming it at the beginning of August. So I think that it's already out, and I've probably already read it by the time that you're watching this video. But when I'm filming this video, I haven't read it yet because, like I said, I'm filming this video at the beginning of August. But anyway, the point is, this book is so good, and I highly, highly recommend it. So, yeah. The next question is Generation Misfits. Name your favorite Asian middle grade book. I have so many options for this because, as you all know, I read middle grade all the time. So my answer for this is Ahmed Aziz Epic Year. I love this book so much. I know I talked about it in a video at the very beginning of August in my favorite South Asian books because it's literally so good. It's an own voices Indian and Muslim book because the main character and the author are both Indian and Muslim, and we love to see it. And basically it follows a young Indian and Muslim boy starting over in a new town with the help of 3 classic books, and the writing was excellent, the world building was excellent, the main character is such an excellent, well-developed, distinct character. This book is so good and it deserves so much more hype. So with that, I would highly, highly recommend it. There you have it. The last question, but certainly not the least, is the Genesis Wars, which, in case you're wondering, is the sequel to the Infinity Courts, and it's coming out next year in April? If I'm not mistaken, I'm not completely sure on that. But anyway, the prompt question is, name your favorite, most anticipated 2022 book with an Asian main character. So my answer for this is An Arrow to the Moon. For those who don't know, this is a YA contemporary, I believe, written by Emily X. Pan, which is the reason why I want to read this book, because if you didn't know, Emily wrote The Astonishing Color of After, which I think is such an excellent book, so I have such high expectations for this one. I believe the synopsis is Romeo and Juliet meets Chinese mythology. I'm not completely sure on that, but I'm excited for this book because I know that Emily X. Pan is a genius because The Astonishing Color of After was such a good book. So I have very, very high expectations for this book. I'm not sure when the release date is, but it comes out next year, and I'm so excited for it. So, yeah. There you have it. That's the Akemi Bowman book tag. If you enjoyed this video, consider yourself tagged, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Comment down below the penguin emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new. Donate to Palestine, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.